Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a review on the loaded Tien longboard. I have the Flex 2 version and I bought this one in 2017, so I've had it about 3 years now, going on 4, and I think I've had it long enough now to be able to tell you guys my thoughts on it throughout all the 4 seasons and all kinds of conditions. I purchased this on Amazon through a bundle that came with the board here. I got the Flex 2 version, so it comes, you can buy them in Flex 1, 2, or 3, depending on your weight limit, so mine fell in with the Flex 2, and it came with these Paris V2 longboard trucks, and these Raytang Stimulus 78 hardness wheels, along with some loaded parts like nuts and bolts and the bushings. And then about a year after I bought it, I replaced the stock bearings with Bones Reds because I think they work better. So that's the current setup I am using, and it's pretty much the stock setup, so it's about what you're going to expect to get from this. So first off, I'm going to talk a little bit about the design of the board and the build quality. So the loaded Tien board is comprised of bamboo mostly, and it's sandwiched in between 2 sheets of fiberglass. So that makes the board extremely strong and durable, but also really flexy and bendable. The reason that a lot of longboards strive to be flexy and bendable is because when you go over surfaces like roads or sidewalks, it really muffles the vibration that your feet feel, and it can allow for a really nice and smooth ride. So this particular loaded board is drop through, meaning that the trucks here come out through the top of the board through these slits right here, and then they come through at the bottom obviously. And I really like trucks like this personally because when you're turning, you never have to worry about wheel bite, which is when you're turning and the board is over the wheels and then the board hits the wheel, which causes you to fly off the board sometimes. And it allows for really sharp turns, and you can loosen the trucks a lot if you're into cruising or whatsoever. So I personally really like the drop-through trucks, and they've been great on this board. So another thing you might notice about this board is the tails. So the tails here are slightly curved up so that you can push on them and the board will pop up kind of like a normal skateboard. They're obviously not as curved as a regular skateboard, but they're curved a little bit, so it allows you to do things like pop the board up or do some simple longboard tricks or anything like that. If you're worried about longevity, I wouldn't be worried about it because I ride this thing almost daily in the summer, in the fall, and in the spring, and in the winter when I can, when it's dry out. Don't worry about longevity, it's going to last you. It's not going to be an issue here. This thing is built like a tank. So the only super noticeable problem I've ever had with this board would be with the bushings under the trucks. So basically the point of bushings is to prevent your metal trucks from scraping against other metal or other wood so that your parts stay new. But the thing is, the bushings have like this plasticky layer over them when you first get them, and it can cause a lot of squeaking sounds when you're turning. About a couple months after I first got it, I took a white crayon, or you can take any type of wax, take your trucks off and just rub it all over the bushings and the metal parts around the bushings, put them back on, and it's going to be completely gone. So moving on to actually riding the board. So I have ridden this board on a lot of surfaces. So I've ridden it on concrete, different types of cement, asphalt, roads, grass, dirt, gravel, snow, ice, pretty much anything, you name it. So the best types of surfaces to ride this board on would definitely be cement or roads, because the flexiness of the board definitely dampens a lot of that sound, and it's a pretty comfortable and smooth ride. I wouldn't recommend riding on gravel because you lose a lot of speed and it's just really bumpy on your feet and not pleasant. You can also go on grass a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend it a lot. It can definitely handle it, but it's not going to be the best experience. I wouldn't try dirt, and I try to keep it out of wetness like ice and snow. The snow can get in your bearings and in your trucks, and it just messes up the whole thing, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. And I also wouldn't recommend riding this in the rain, just because you don't want to get your bearings rusty or anything. So another thing you should be aware about is that if you want to do this on really high speeds, like down really steep hills, I wouldn't recommend it because it can get speed wobbles. That being said, small hills to medium hills works perfectly fine. I've done it many times. You just gotta make sure your trucks are tight enough and you'll be totally good. Another great thing about this board is the concavity from the top of it. So if you look here, you can see that the board's not flat on the top, meaning that when you hook your feet in it, they really stay locked in and you're not going to slip off your board or anything. So it's really helpful for that. It also helps for making your turns tighter. So because it's up a little bit, you can push more on the sides so that your wheels carve sharper. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the tricks and other uses with the board. So because of the raised tails, it allows for a lot more cool things you can do with the longboard. Not only can you just use your foot to kick the tail up and pick the board up, this thing allows for all types of different tricks you can try. For example, there's this one trick that I'm going to show you now that you can learn. It's really simple, and it allows you to kick the tail, grab the board with your hand, and pick it up and carry it away. This can be transformed into picking it up, spinning it around, and landing back on it, which can be really useful for if there's a big crack in front of you, a puddle, or some other obstacle, and you don't want to completely stop your ride. It's really nice so that you can just quick grab it, flip it around, and hop back on and get riding. So if any of you are interested in longboard freestyling or learning how to do simple tricks or anything like that, this is going to be the best board for you to get to start with. So as far as longboards go, this board is actually a pretty quiet board due to it being so flexible. So I've ridden really stiff boards and you can hear them from like a mile away, and they're not nice to listen to. But this one's actually pretty good. So it's obviously not going to be super quiet, but it's going to be a lot quieter than other longboards. I'll play a clip of me riding on some road surface and then me on sidewalk, and you can compare the difference. So that's going to be about it for the review. So I really like how fast it is, the flexibility of it. It's actually pretty light for a longboard, it doesn't weigh that much. I really like the concavity of the top surface. I like the raised tails. The pattern's pretty sick on the bottom. It's a smooth ride, and I like how you can learn beginner tricks and it's really easy to use. A couple things I don't like is although it's light, it's still a longboard and it's still going to be heavy, so that's obviously a concern. If you want to go down really steep hills, it can get a little unstable at really heavy speeds. I also don't really like the tail durability that well, because after using it for about 3 years, these tails here have gotten kind of worn down. I definitely recommend to buy some sort of tail guard for them to protect them from wearing down too much. A couple other things that I really don't like is the squeaking of the trucks, but that's a pretty easy fix. You can just put some wax or use a crayon or something to get the sound pretty muted. And the only other thing that I don't really like about this would be the price. So I got mine on sale for around $250 complete, which that's a pretty good price to get it at, but now I think it's selling at around $330. So if this is going to be your beginner board or something, it's definitely going to be a pretty penny to spend on it, but I would definitely say it's worth it in the long run, and it lasts a really long time. So you know, since I've almost had it for 4 years, if you take that $300 price and span it out over 4 years, that's less than $100 per year. So I would definitely say that for the value you're getting long term, it's definitely a good investment to go out and purchase. So overall, I would definitely recommend this board as a beginner board, or if you already have a cheap longboard, as your next step up, because it is just really great. I've had a great experience using it for a long time, and I can't recommend this enough. So you made it to the end of the video. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something nice about the longboard. I really recommend you guys check it out. It's a little spendy right now, but I'd still totally 100% recommend it. So go check it out on Amazon or loadedlongboards.com. It's really great. Highly recommend for a beginner board. With that said, feel free to check out any of my other videos. So I'm posting every Saturday and Wednesday. It's going to be a great time. Leave me a comment on the next video idea you want me to pursue. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button for me, and see you on Wednesday.